Today is the 29th of November 2023, and we want to continue looking at some possible questions. Okay, this will be our 8th video. Thank you very much to everyone who has been watching our videos. Okay, and thank you to everyone who have subscribed. I appreciate it a lot. If you haven't subscribed or following us already, I will appreciate it if you consider doing that. Okay, and it's good because when I upload the video, you get to see the notification. And please, after watching, share, like, if you know somebody who is going to write a receipt or do an exam next year, please share. Don't keep it to yourself. Like as well. Leave me comments, okay, so that I can do more of these. Okay. Thank you. And then if the account is not yours, please ask for permission or open your account. Use it to subscribe and follow us. Okay. Thank you. In the comment section, you normally see, please follow my notes/script. Okay. At times, like this is minus 12b. So if you hear minus 2b, it's not, it's minus 12b. Okay, so follow the notes. The notes are accurate. If they are not accurate, in the next video I would come up and tell you. But it's a good practice to follow the notes. Okay. And the reason I have the note is I don't go off course, so that I can bring up the important points, so that you know what you need to include in your answers. Okay. Sorry. And you know how to solve the questions so that you can get your full marks, so that you not be losing marks. Beware of scammers, okay? As I'm telling you, I'm telling myself as well. Beware. Online now is a big platform. It's for good, but some people use it on daily basis, abuse it to do their own stuff. Just beware of scammers. If I haven't said it in the video, it's not coming from me. Now I'll recap. Watch last video for recap, because we are solving, looking at possible questions. It's like I look at this question today and then I look at that tomorrow. So it's not following a pattern. Any question I lay my hands on, as long as it's a past paper, I will share it with you and solve it, so that you can see how best you can do it to get the full marks. Okay. And then we've done a lot of videos on whatever the questions we are looking at. So if you need help in any topic, just scan through the videos. You will see the topics and then watch it. Okay, and then use it to solve the question you have. Okay. Now, starter. Simplify the following. Okay. I remember doing videos, a lot of videos on algebra. Okay, so look at the variables. We have b and C. Okay, so it's to simplify this one here, 4b plus 7c minus 2b plus c. We'll bring the b's together and the c's together. We have to be mindful of the minus though. So here we have 4b minus 12b plus 7c plus 6c. Okay, now 4b minus 12b will give us 8b. 7c plus c will give us 8c. So we can either write it as 8b minus 8b plus 8c, or 8c minus 8b. If you look at earlier video, you know what I mean. Now 8 is a common factor, so we can now bring 8 out into bracket c minus b. Our second one, we have variables in x and y. So we'll put the x's together and the y's together. 2x plus x, that's 2x plus x. Then plus 6y minus 11y. 2x plus x here will give us 3x. 6y minus 11y will give us minus 5y. So our answer will be 3x minus 5y. There is no common factor here like the first one, so we leave our answer like this. The third one, we have a variable in x and a. Okay, so we put the x's together and the a's together. Now we have 7a minus a here, and then we have x plus x minus 11x. Now 7a minus a is like 7a minus 1a. Okay, we don't normally bring the 1, we just write a. So 7a minus a will give us 6a. Plus x minus 11x will give us minus 10x. Okay, now 6 and 10, we can have a common factor of 2. So if we bring 2 out, we have 3a into brackets minus 5x. So our final answer, if we simplify this equation, will become 2 into brackets 3a minus 5a. Okay, so that's our starter for today. Go and have a good think about it. Okay, today our example deals with line graphs. Okay, we've done line graphs, we've done quadratic graphs, okay, which is the curve. Okay, so we are going to do that, and it's an example of an exam question. A line passes through the point with coordinates 0, 2 and 2, 8 as shown. So they've drawn that graph for us. Here it is. Okay, this is what you were given. The coordinates were not given, they just gave you the line. Okay, I drew it with the coordinates involved. So I substituted with the coordinates, okay, and I labeled it graph A. Put a date. You don't have to, because in an exam room, uh, it's an exam paper. If it's in the classroom, you can just paste it or clip it to your exercise book, so you don't have to put a date apart from the date you put for the work you are doing for that day. Okay, the title is A Graph of Line y equals 3x plus 2, and you've been given this line. My intervals, look, is on the graph, so 0, 1, 2 equal intervals up to 9. On the y, I've labeled my y is from the origin. 0, 1 equal intervals again on the x up to 9. So this is my first graph, okay. So it says work out the equation of the straight line. So they've given you two coordinates, 0, 2 and 2, 8, and they've given you the graph. When you look at the graph, it's going that way. It's a straight line, okay. So they've asked us to work out this equation, which I did. The fact that the line is going in the upper direction tells me that the gradient will be positive. If it were coming down, then I know it will be negative. But the gradient here, okay, is going up, so my gradient should be positive. Now, how do we find gradients? Okay, it's in one of our videos, if not more than one. The gradient, if I have this equation, that will be x1 and that will be x2. That will be y1 and that will be y2. This is where it's good to follow the notes. My gradient m is change in the y coordinates divided by change in the x coordinates, which you can write as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can also do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, so you have to be sure which one is your y2, y1. So here, my y2 is 8, so my y2 is 8, and my y1 is 2. So I have 8 minus 2. I'm finding the gradient of the line. Okay, they've asked me to find the equation of the straight line they've given me with these two coordinates here. These two coordinates, 0, 2 and 2, 8. Now, looking at the x, so if this is y2, then this should be x2. Okay, this can be y2 and x1. So you have to be consistent. So if this is x1, that will be y1. If this is your x2, that will be your x2. So I've done the y2 minus y1. x2 minus x1 will be 2 minus 0 there. So 8 minus 2 is 6. 2 minus 0 is 2, which is 3. So now my gradient m is 3. Okay, now if you look at the graph, C is your y-intercept. So if you look at the graph carefully, the line cuts the y-axis at 0, 2. So here 2 will be my y-intercept. So now I have got my m and I've got my intercept, my y-intercept. Now equation of a straight line will be y equals mx plus c. Okay, every straight line has y. We learned in one of the videos the equation of the line x is to the power 1 always. If it's the power 2, then it's a quadratic graph and it will be a curve. But immediately you see x to the power 1, it will be a straight line. Okay, so now m here we label 1 is 3. So y equals 3x. Intercept here is 2. Okay, y-intercept here is 2. We labeled it 2 plus 2. So the equation of this line given here, which we're not given, is y equals 3x plus 2. That is why I titled it graph of line y equals 3x plus 2. Everything on the graph is in pencil, apart from the date, which is not part of the graph. Okay, if I wrote the date here, then I'll write it in pencil. So this is my first graph. Intervals from 0 to 9. On the y and x. Okay. Now, so that's the first part of the question. Okay, so the first part says we should use the graph to find the equation of the line. So we found the equation of the line, which is this one. Now let's look at the second part of the question. Okay, the second part of the question, it says on the graph of line. So there's a second graph that we've been given, and the line is y equals half x is drawn. This line has been drawn for us. So here, okay, I had to draw it myself. Okay, so this is the line that was given you. I did 4 coordinates. By even doing 2 coordinates, you'll be able to draw the line. So I drew the line from the origin all the way up. Okay, so how did I draw the line? It's already been given, so you don't have to do it, but I'm just repeating myself and showing you how you do it if you don't know how to draw a line graph. So your equation is y equals half x. So when x is 0, y is 0. So the equation will go through the origin 0, 0. Look at the equation. It hasn't got any y-intercept. That is why it's going to go through the origin. Okay. The gradient is half, which is plus half. So it's going to go upward. Okay. And it's a line because x to the power 1. If it's x to the power 2, then it will be a quadratic graph or a curve or a parabola. But this is a line because x is the power 1. Now when x equals 1, y equals 1 and half. The y equals when x equals 1, y equals half. So I get the coordinate 1 half, or 1 is 0.5. When x equals 2, y equals, so you just have to substitute x in the equation to find the corresponding y. So when x equals to half into bracket 2 will be 1. Okay. Now, since it's easier to plot 0, 0 and 2, 1, so I'm going to stick to 0, 0 and 2, 1. Now, I'm going to ignore x equals 3. Then I'll do x equals 4. So y equals half, x is 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I have 0, 0, 2, 1, 4, 2. So I can plot it to do this graph. Okay. So as you can see here, 0, 0, 2, 1, 4, 2. So I can join these three to get the graph. This graph I've been given in the exam paper, but because for explanation purpose I had to draw my own. So this is how it looks. Okay, this point were not given, I found it myself. In the exam room, you wouldn't have to ask for a graph paper to do this. This has been done for you. Okay, but for revision's sake, I'm showing you again, even though there are videos, I'm showing you again or revising with you how you can draw a graph with 2 or 3 coordinates. So you plot the points. Okay, if you don't know how to plot coordinate by now, please go and watch our earlier videos. Okay, and then you join the coordinates. Okay, now after they've given you this graph here, okay, they've asked you, it says on the same graph, draw the line x plus y equals 9 for values of x 0 to 9. So because they said x should be between 0 to 9, try not to extend your graph more than that, because if you do that, it's going to go to the negative and it will go against you. Okay, just stick to 0 to 9. So on the graph again, I've done 0 to 9 and 0 to 9 here on the x-axis, and my title is a graph of y equals half x and x plus y equals 9. Okay, because here you have two line graphs. The x is to the power 1, so it's a line graph. X here is also to the power 1, so I'll have 2 line graphs. Now I'm going to go straight ahead and plot x plus y equals 9. I need 2 or more points. Okay, now when x is 0, y equals 9. So when you put a 0 in place of x, y will be 9. So you have y equals 9. So the first point is 0, 9. When x is 1, y will be 9. If we move the y 1 to this side, y will be 8. So our next coordinate is 1, 8. So it's enough to plot the graph, but I just want to be a bit more accurate. So when x is 2, 2 plus y equals 9. So y will be 9 minus 2, which will be 7. Okay, so another coordinate is 2, 7. Okay, and then it's at home. it's not an exam, so I did the fourth one. Okay, and I did when x is 9, then y, 9 plus y equals 9. So y equals 9 minus 9, this is 9, not a, equals 0. So 9, 0. So I've got 4 points now. So I've plotted it: 0, 9, 1, 8, 2, 7, 9, 0. I'm going to use my ruler to join the line nicely. Okay, now this is not part of the question, but I just wanted to discuss the lines with you. Okay, it will help you if you know this. So let's look at the line. Y equals half x. So m here is half. So it's positive. So the line is going to go upwards, as you can see. Okay. Now x plus y equals 9. So y will be 9 minus x. So y, if we swap the x's and 9 around, it will be minus x plus 9. So here the gradient is minus 1. Okay, so now we have a negative gradient. That is why this line is coming downward. Okay, and I'll see here is 9. Okay, that is where it cuts the x-axis. That is our y-intercept. So now, because of that, you should be able to see in your mind that one graph is going to go upwards and one graph is going to go downwards. Okay, both lines have a highest power of 1. Okay, x plus y equals 9, the power is 1. Y equals half x, power is 1. So both of them are going to be lines. Okay, so immediately you have this in your line, in your mind, you already have a clear picture of how the graph should look like. Okay, so these are things you should know before you solve the equation, so that you don't get muddied up. Okay, now let's go on. So we've drawn the graph. Now, if you look at the graph, these two lines meet at the point 6,3. But in the question, we haven't been told to use the graph to find the point of intersection. The question goes on to say that solve the simultaneous equation y equals half and x plus y equals 9. So even though you have the answer on the graph that you've drawn, they still want you to, they didn't ask you to use the graph to find the intercept. They've told you now solve these two equations. So my first equation is y equals half x. That is labeled 1. My second equals x plus y equals 9. So if I link this the first question, the answer is right in front of me. Okay, so I should solve and get the point of intercept or the graph that I've drawn, which is 6,3. If I haven't got that, then my solution is wrong. Okay, now I'm going to put y equals half into equation 2. So wherever I see y, I'll put half x. Okay, so x plus y, which is half x, will be equals 9. Now this is like 1x plus half x. Okay, so if I want to put it in the form of fraction, it will be 3 over 2x. Okay, I can do the LCM method, the lowest common multiple method, to find that, but you can easily see this. Okay, if you are in year 11, if in the foundation group, you should be able to see this, or you should start looking out, because this is 1x and this is half x. So 1 apple plus half of an apple will be 1.5. And if you change 1.5, a mixed fraction, into a fraction, you should get 3 over 2. So 3 over 2x will be equal to 9. 3x will be equal to 18. So x will be equal to 6. Now, we know x equal to 6. You solving this equation. So now I can put x equals 6 into one of these equations to find y. So if x equals 6, x equals 6, y equals half 6, y will now become 3. So when x is 6, y will be 3. So if we solve this simultaneously as an equation, we will get 6, 3, as we found in the graph we've drawn here. Sadly, in this equation here, 6 and 3, in this question, we've not been asked to use the graph. They've asked us to plot this line, and then they said we should solve these two equations. Okay, so your ability to solve this equation simultaneously, these two line graphs simultaneously. Okay, so what they're asking you to solve is the point of intersection here, but they haven't told you. But you have the answer right in front of you. Okay, so just by looking at your graph, you know the answer, and then you can put y equals half x into one of the equation, into this x plus y equals 9. Find x and then find y, as I've just gone through with you. Okay, so this is also a fairly easy question that you can easily get full marks on. Okay, without as long as you stick to the rules and do it step by step, and what you've done earlier, you can connect it to the question they're asking you to do. You can still get full marks again here. Okay. I hope I've helped you today. Thank you so much for watching our video today, and I'll see you in the next.